Hello, everybody. My name is MrBonesy, and welcome back to Doki Doki Literature Club Plus. I almost just jumped right into the plus there. Last episode we did Reflection, which was nice. It was wholesome. Um, and now we're going to do the last side story. So this is probably the ending, but I don't think it is because of just the fact that in pictures over here, I still got a few of these CGs missing. I got more than look, 3 of them. So I don't know what the hell that's about. That was a weird. Let's just do self-love. The apparently last one. Okay. It's only been 1 day since Yuri's letter was delivered to Natsuki with Monika's help. Because Yuri chose not to attend the club meeting that day, she and Natsuki haven't faced each other since. Although it's only lunchtime, Yuri finds herself anxiously counting the hours until she needs to face the outcome of her efforts, whether good or bad. And because the passing by of students was making her feel even more anxious, Yuri picked out of the most scheduled spot she could find and spend her lunch. Secluded, not scheduled. Secluded spot. I don't know why I said scheduled. Because this staircase is under maintenance, no student would have any reason for coming here. You know, except for the fact that there's a vending machine like right over there. So, and also like soccer tryouts. That's cool. We got tryouts. It would be cool to actually see that fucking literature club poster there, but I guess under maintenance. It's such a relaxing feeling to have a moment of solitude in the middle of a frantic school day. I was gonna say, this is like oddly weird without music. Eep, eep. What are you doing here? I just... Yuri grips her book with enough force to wrinkle the pages beneath the pressure of her thumbs. Well, what are you doing here? I just came to get a drink from the vending machine. Yeah, like literally what I brought up, the point I made. The other one is out of the drink I like. Yuri notices Natsuki fidgeting with a few coins between her fingers. He nods, avoiding eye contact. Natsuki, also looking away, shuffles over to the vending machine. It's so quiet that every one of her movements seems to reverberate through the entire stairwell. After far too long, she finally receives her beverage, which she then fidgets with the place of the coins. Some kind of iced tea. But instead of leaving right away, Natsuki just stands in place. She glances all around her. It's like way too quiet back here. It's creepy. I mean, that's not what I meant, really. I mean, it's totally cool if that's your thing or whatever. Like, I could see how it suits you. So, fuck you. Not because I think you're creepy or something. I didn't mean that either. I mean, it'll be alright if you want me to think that, because you're definitely creepy. But, like, I didn't mean it like that. You know, I'm just gonna stop talking. That seems like a good idea. It's okay. Everything is okay. Yuri finds herself attempting some words of comfort after hearing Natsuki stammer herself in dejection. Seemingly in response, Natsuki approaches the base of the staircase and hesitantly sits herself down near Yuri. Well, I can leave if you want. Yuri shakes her head. Natsuki twists the cap of her drink and takes a sip. Despite receiving Yuri's general permission, Natsuki doesn't say anything more. Yuri continues to read, or at least pretends to. And then the two just sit there for a long time. The tension seems to fade a little bit as time passes. Even without any words, this seems to mean at least something, though it's not clear what it may be. Lunch ends more quickly than expected. Okay, this is like so weird. Natsuki is the first to stand up with her empty drink bottle. Wow, she really chugged that. Are you coming today? To the club? Yuri nods. I'm sorry for being so awkward. I'm really bad at talking about this stuff. I just can't for some reason. I don't know why. But I want to, eventually. There is no rush. I promise. Thanks. Same time tomorrow? Alright. It's the next day. Natsuki appears from around the corner and steps up to the vending machine, glancing at Yuri as she does so. Wow, I literally made the joke and it happened. They are literally back in the same area. Today, she seems to be holding some kind of book as well. Oh, you're here again. Well, I just came here to read this because there aren't any people around here.
Oh, I thought you didn't like how quiet it was.
Well, I don't, but there's no people here.
I see. Well, you're actually wrong. There is people. Just one though. It's me. So there's just a person. So you're still wrong.
Natsuki sits down. The mood feels much different today than it did yesterday. The instrumental guy back there changed the theme. After yesterday's lunch and the club's meeting that followed, Natsuki and Yuri are beginning to feel more relaxed around each other again. Although Yuri's letter is still lingering in the back of Natsuki's mind, she continues to detour around it.
But it's okay that I'm here.
Yeah, I don't care. I mostly just don't feel like dealing with the crap I get from my friends about it. Especially since, like, they'll just assume I stopped reading manga after I joined the Allergic Club. Not that I'm trying to hide it from them exactly. But I just don't want it to come up again now, after I waited so long for this new volume to come out. Literally months at this point.
You don't have other friends who are into manga?
Not unless online friends count. They're in a gray area. I would count them. And Sayori, but that's different because she's not exactly into it. She just likes it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, you're lucky that the books you're into at least look like books. So you don't have to feel like everyone's constantly judging you by what you're reading.
That would be so awful. Especially since I already hate attention so much.
Well, it's a good thing. I have thick skin, I guess. Not true. You bitched about it like a while ago. By the way, I would totally recommend finding some friends online if you haven't already. If you're like me and have no one to share your hobbies with.
Oh, I have online friends. Since middle school, actually. I was especially desperate back then. It's somewhat embarrassing to reminisce about those days. Sometimes I feel like the me from a few years ago would have benefited from a good smack across the face.
Oh, whatever. We were all just some stupid kids back then anyways. Alright, true. I don't like to think about middle school. Those were some weird-ass times, actually. Not gonna reminisce over those. I think. I don't know. I have to think about it real hard. Some of the fanfics I wrote. Thank God! Why? Why did you write fan fictions, though? Such a weird thing. I've never, ever thought of writing fan fictions in any part of my life. Because I just found that so weird. Thank God I use a pseudonym. A pseudonym? But I like it. At the time. I got a lot of fulfillment out of it. And plus, I can look back and say with confidence that I've become a better person since then. So I don't think I would change anything.
I wonder if a few years from now, we'll think the same thing about our current selves.
Probably.
That doesn't make you uncomfortable?
No, of course not. I don't care what other people think of me, especially someone who doesn't even exist yet. Alright, here. Natsuki raises her hand to her face and forcefully slaps her own cheek. That's me from the future coming to terms with me right now. Also, ow, I didn't mean to do it that hard. Yuri doesn't seem to react. She actually finds it quite disturbing. But then, to Natsuki's surprise, Yuri shyly looks the other way before lifting her arm and doing the same thing to herself, loudly smacking her cheek. She turns red and... I don't like how she's smiling there. She turns red and stares into her lap, but is unable to hide the smile. Hide a smile, as though it was a really funny joke. Maybe because she's into self-harm, so maybe she's getting off by it. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. I didn't know you had it in you.
I don't. I don't even know why I did that. Maybe I thought it would be funny. Sorry, I keep distracting you. You said you were looking forward to reading, but I keep going on about this nonsense. I'll let you get to your reading.
Oh, right. Yeah, I guess I'll do that, then. The conversation ends quickly. Natsuki opens her book. The two read silently for the remainder of the lunch hour. But the whole time, Yuri feels distracted by a twist of regret over having so abruptly forced the end of their conversation. And now the music stopped. It's the same stairs.
You're back.
Yeah, I'm here to lay low again. Another day has passed. During lunchtime, Natsuki finds herself having wandered to the stairwell once more. Warded. Hey! Did you buy that? Natsuki quickly notices a bottle of iced tea on the staircase where she normally sits. Yuri nods, avoiding eye contact. Wait, like for me? But you didn't know I was coming here today. What if I didn't show up?
Well, I would have drank it myself, I guess. It was a stupid thing to do.
No, it wasn't stupid. I just thought, never mind. Well, what I meant to say is thank you. And that it's a really nice gesture. But you didn't buy the exact iced tea I liked, so I'm gonna take a sip here or there, act like I like it, and then like hold on to it and be like, oh, I'll finish it later, and then throw it away when you're not looking. We've all done that before, right? I'm really digging myself into a hole here. I've never done that with a drink, by the way. I did that with food, though. Someone came from India, a friend of mine. Well, we don't talk anymore, but he used to be a friend of mine, and he had like Indian candy, and he's like, "Oh, try it." He gave it to a bunch of people, and I got a handful. And not to say anything, but that was the most painful and forceful swallow I ever did in my entire life so far, because I did not like the taste of it, and I was like, "Oh, but I don't want to spit it out." And then he's like, "Do you want more?" I was like, "I'm good." So I don't. Ooh, that was some repressed trauma I have there.
It's okay if you don't feel that way.
I do. It was the other things I didn't mean. I swear. Please believe me.
Yuri pauses, then nods. Talking is hard. I get it wrong a lot too. So I believe you.
Natsuki exhales in relief. She then sits down next to Yuri and takes the drink. Knowing Yuri, she was probably overthinking it so much that Natsuki's tepid response filled her with self-doubt. I'll do something nice for you next time.
Please don't feel obligated.
I want to. I want to do nice things too.
Okay, thank you.
You can thank me after I figure out how to do something nice.
I'll do it then too.
Natsuki sighs. Nothing. It just reminds me of how I haven't been getting along with my friends lately.
Is that why you've been coming here?
Well, no, not exactly. I haven't been avoiding them on purpose or anything. There are just other things I'd rather be doing during lunch lately. I like being around them when they're all having fun, but they also just can't take anything seriously. So when I don't know, feeling serious, and then their attitudes just get really on my nerves. It's only gotten worse ever since I joined the literature club.
How come?
I don't know. I feel like I used to be really good with just putting up with it because I would be so stupid to cause drama over a joke I didn't like or something, but I just have a hard time doing that lately. But it's my fault for being overly sensitive. If I have a problem, I'm not gonna demand for everyone around me to change. The reason probably she's feeling that is a lot of people in the literature club are a lot more respectful, and they're not making fun of her 90% of the time, and her friends usually do, so it's probably changing her whole demeanor about the whole thing. That's probably my guess, although that doesn't sound realistic because, I mean, I hang out with groups that make fun of me, and I hang out with groups that don't. And although I do definitely have different responses to them, or like comfort zones with them, I still hang out with both groups without care. Maybe that's because I have a really thick skin. I don't know.
But
yeah, I know. Monica and Sayori really don't agree with that kind of thing. But they're not in my position, so it's easy for them to say that you should just communicate your feelings or whatever. It's not like my friend group does that kind of thing. I would just be making an embarrassment of myself. Sorry, none of this has anything to do with you. I don't know why I'm talking about it.
It's okay. I like listening.
What? Listening to other people's problems?
Yes.
That's weird. Sorry.
I just like learning about people. Do you think it's weird?
No, that's not weird. I probably just misunderstood, so I don't know. Does that mean I should keep going?
If you'd like.
Okay. Well, I don't know what to talk about.
What are some things that you like about your friends?
I like lots of things. I mean, they're really fun to hang out with, like after school and on weekends. And they're really like my baking, and it's fun to complain about school together. They make me laugh a lot, and we have a lot of good memories and inside jokes.
Oh, I'm bad at a lot of those things.
So?
And those are all things that are important to you?
Well, kind of. But they're not things I need to get out of everybody. Everyone in the club is really different from that, but I'm still friends with them too.
Well, Sayori really likes your baking, and she makes you laugh, and she complains a lot.
That doesn't mean fuck. That doesn't mean she's anything like my other friends.
Well, unlike them, she's a nice person who cares about your feelings.
Excuse me? How about you don't talk that... Damn. How about you don't talk that way about my friends that you don't know anything about? Natsuki stands up.
No, wait. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. I didn't want to say something bad. Please don't leave.
Natsuki sighs and shakes her head. It's fine. As long as you understand that you can't judge people like that. Although it's pretty fucking self-explanatory. That's exactly what it means.
I'm sorry.
Natsuki sits back down. You can't just compare friends like that and like measure who's better than and who's better than who. Everyone's different. That is a good point though.
I'm sorry, but I do judge people, and on my list of friends, you're on the lowest.
Out of like 4.
I just don't like people who want to hurt you.
A moment of silence stretches between them. Natsuki's like, do you not like yourself then? Because you definitely hurt me. They don't want to hurt me. We just like to tease each other about stupid things. It's fun.
I don't like that.
Well, that's why I'm friends with them and you're not. And that's why we're not friends.
You like it?
Just don't worry so much about me. It's not worth it.
I'm sorry. I wish I knew how to help with social conflicts. Like how Monica can. He's good at those things. Not really. Did you have a problem with her trying to deal with social conflict and you leave?
Not really. Also, I don't always want help. Sometimes it's just stuff I have to deal with myself. That's what Monica and Sayori never seem to understand. Sometimes all you do is look at them wrong and then oh, what's wrong? Is everything okay? I definitely stuttered a lot there, which probably made no sense, but who cares? I just want to mind my own business sometimes and decide myself if I want to talk about things. The only one who understands that is you. So you really shouldn't be hard on yourself. You're not as bad as you think.
Oh, you don't need to reinsure me or anything.
I mean that. Plus, it makes sense that someone who doesn't talk a lot would make a good listener.
Thank you. You're also nice.
I'm sorry. It's really hard for me. It doesn't come naturally at all. It's so weird because I always thought of myself as someone who can just say whatever is on my mind. But I feel like that only works when I'm annoyed or upset, or I want to say something mean. Why am I like that? You don't have to answer that. I'm just talking to myself. Yuri nods and remains silent. Natsuki notices her fidgeting with the pages of her book. How come you like reading so much?
Oh, well, lots of reasons. But I just get sucked into it so easily. It's so immersive, like I want to be a part of it. I think there are lots of things about people in real life that make me feel uncomfortable and frustrated, especially when it comes to following social conversations and group interactions. I just don't really understand it, and I have no real desire to participate. But it's different with books. I feel like I always want to be around the characters. I feel such strong emotional connections with them in ways that I'll never felt with a real person. Sounds like you don't talk to people. So in that way, it can sometimes feel more than real life.
Really? It's that hard for you to be around people, like all the time?
Fairly often, especially in group settings. When people are making all kinds of conversations and saying jokes and all that, I don't know what to do. And I just disengage.
Oh, that doesn't get lonely?
I don't think so. I can still enjoy spending time with people on one-to-one, and I have online friends too, of course.
Do you ever wish that you could be friends with the characters in your books? No shit.
All the time. Didn't you just not listen to me, you fucking klutz? I literally just said I wish to hang out with them. Why wouldn't I want to be friends? Sometimes, so badly that it makes my heart ache.
Yeah, me too.
Really?
A lot. Especially since I could actually fucking see them. I mean, you can't. You have to like make them up in your head or something. Like more than anything. After Natsuki mutters that, silence fills the stairwell once more. But it's a mutual silence. One full of understanding. Oh, that's the end. Awesome. Now we got one last episode-ish. I say episode like this video's ending. I just wanted to look at the time since this is covering my eyesight to the timer. So yeah, the 20 minutes. This is like really short. Let's begin the part 2. Let's not make it longer by talking about how tiny it is. Hey, we haven't been to the club this entire episode. Don't you think that's interesting?
Oh, hello. I don't really think that's interesting because I couldn't care less. I almost thought you weren't coming today.
Yeah, well, lunch is already more than halfway over. Natsuki had typically been meeting Yuri in the stairwell much earlier, since it had been a good way of dodging her friends when she didn't feel like seeing them. Today, she's holding a large plastic container in both hands. I ran into my friends, so I hung out with them for a while.
Is that so?
Yeah. I was in a good mood today, so I figured I should. I hadn't seen them in a while, which I had to come up with an excuse for, but I expected that. Plus, I have way more of these than I know what to do with, so I figured I would share them with you too. As she sits down, Natsuki opens the lid of her container.
You made cupcakes.
You know it! It's been a while at this point, so I figured it's about time again. You can take one if you want. Yuri takes a cupcake and carefully twirls it between your fingers. It's brown with dark green frosting, immaculately shaped into a floral pattern and topped with some kind of glittery powder.
How pretty. I just ate, so I might not be able to finish it. Are they for the club?
Yeah, I guess so. I didn't really think about it. I just made them.
Aw. I just thought that because green is Monica's favorite color, right?
Well, yeah, but that's... Wait, how you know? Is it because her eyes are green? That doesn't make sense. You can't just base someone's favorite color because of their eyes being green. If anything, the only thing we learned about Monica is her favorite book is romance and she likes cherries. But that's not really it.
Yuri takes a small bite. This is green tea flavored. I love green tea.
Oh, do you? It was just a random idea I wanted to try, so... Don't laugh at me.
I'm not. I just felt happy.
Oh, sorry. Usually never mind. What I mean is that I'm glad. Sorry for saying dumb things again. I just wanted to do something nice. And this is something I happen to be good at. And I do know that you like them from past experiences. Yuri turns red, recalling the time she treated herself rather generously to Natsuki cupcakes. Ironically, her mouth is too full of cupcake for her to stammer an excuse, so she just settles for a disapproval look. Like, what? Were you eating when she said that? I assume so.
How did you get into baking?
Oh, well, I don't know. It kind of just always appealed to me. Well, a few years ago, I read this one manga with a lot of baking, so I got, like, super into it for a while. I was probably making stuff every day. But it's something that I always knew I liked anyways. It's like, baking is like art. And when you get good at it, it gets more delicious, too. I want to own a restaurant one day, so I can yell at people who mess up the orders.
I'm struggling to imagine myself putting my heart into something so aesthetic, knowing that it would just be eaten afterwards.
Yeah, maybe you're too practical for it.
I think I prefer to be on the receiving end.
That's my other favorite part about it. It's something I could do to makes a lot of people happy, like unconditionally. Everyone is always thankful, and at the moment you get to be like the bringer of joy. I don't know. It just makes me feel...
Valued?
Yeah, I guess that.
So you were able to make up with your friends today?
That wasn't really anything to make up with about them. I think that I did not say that in the right order. Anything to make up with them about. We weren't fighting or anything.
You weren't? Maybe I misunderstood.
It only turns into a fight if I lose my cool, and that's just unnecessary drama. It only makes things worse.
So they're not going to stop?
I mean, it only happens sometimes anyways. It's just the way they are. I'm the only one who has a problem with it. It's not worth it. Especially since I have somewhere to go now, and when I don't feel like hanging out with them.
Oh, I see. The cupcake's empty foil wrapper audibly crinkles as Yuri clenches a fist. I'm glad that the situation is resolved, and that you don't have to avoid them anymore.
Yeah, me too. And I don't have to bother you during your alone time anymore. I'm sure you have lots of reading to catch up on.
Yeah.
I know that that cupcakes are basically nothing compared to all the stuff that you've done to me for me. But it's the best I could do. So you can have the rest of them. Natsuki grabs the box and slides over to Yuri's feet. There's about 20 of them. Not gonna be good for you, but gotta eat them all for their power move. Yuri stares at the box. Then she shakes her head and then slides them back. I'm not gonna eat all these.
You should save them for your other friends.
I literally just gave them all to my friends, and you're my friend.
But
I made them for you. Natsuki's voice, Natsuki's voice whines as she protects.
I know, and I like them very much, especially as your thought. You're succeeded, but I know you care about making your other friends happy too, and this is the way you know how to make that happen. Then I'm not going to take it from you.
No, they weren't for making you happy.
You make me happy. You're worth more than cupcakes to some people, and that's why they want to spend time with you and be your friends.
Without warning, tea pours from Natsuki. Tea? That would be painful. Tears pour from Natsuki's eyes. She pulls her knees to her chest and starts sobbing into her arms.
Natsuki,
I'm such a bad person. Yeah, Yuri stammers, feeling panicked.
I didn't mean to say something bad.
Natsuki shakes her head and wipes her eyes. You didn't. Natsuki tries to choke back her sobs, but struggles to speak through them. I just really hate myself sometimes, and it feels so wrong when you say those nice things to me, like I don't deserve it.
I'm sorry.
No, I am. It's so difficult. I can't think of a single thing about myself that somebody would like. And I hated myself for bothering you during lunchtime. I just thought it was my chance to be a good person, like to be nice and do the things you wrote about in your letter. I knew if I tried in the club, Sayori and Monica would be super annoying and make a huge deal out of it.
I think a lot of these negative things too about myself. I never felt like a good person. I always scrutinize everything I say, and then later feels like I said all the wrong things. I just spend so much time thinking about myself, hating myself, and feeling like everyone else hates me too. Oh, I understand some of that through my own experiences. And that's why I wanted to write the letter and express my feelings. It pained me to see those things in someone else that I saw in myself.
Natsuki sniffles. Yuri restless through her. My brain. Yuri
rustles
through her bag and pulls out some tissues, then hands them to Sayori.
Monaco told me that it takes a good person to reflect on these things. The desire to improve yourself. That makes you a good person, so don't worry so much. Also, there are things about you that people would like, so...
Like what?
Like your attitude. Such a good attitude. Like how you're fun for people to be around. And you're not shy, and you know how to make people laugh. And you're very passionate about things. And you know how to take the lead. And you care a lot about other people. And just a lot of things.
Oh. Well, now you're making me feel really embarrassed.
Well, you're the one who asked. Fuck, I could just leave right fucking now. And you don't think I feel embarrassed? So inconsiderate. They just fucking fight again. Natsuki tries to hide a smile. Then she sighs as it fades away again.
Every time I come here, I always think it's the last time. But then I keep coming back for some reason.
Is that bad?
That's really confusing. I mean, my friends and I go way back. So ditching them all the time feels like... I don't know.
Feels like what?
Natsuki's voice gets quiet. Maybe I'm scared that they'll get mad at me. I really don't know what to do.
She pauses. Yuri stares into the distance, tracing her eyes along the pattern of the floor tiles while she thinks to herself. What would you do, hypothetically, if your friends were happy for you instead of mad at you?
Happy for what?
Happy that your new club is making you happy.
Well, that's just not a fair hypothetical.
Natsuki says that,
but with a little confidence in her voice. I always told myself that I don't rely on the approval of others to be happy. And I still feel that way, but I'm spending time with people who put me down whenever I don't have their approval. That's probably what's making me feel so confused, because I'm threatened out of the things that should make me happy. So no matter what, it's like I have to be unhappy to be happy. It's making my head hurt.
That must make it really difficult to feel comfortable with yourself. Being made to feel like you're wrong just for being the person you are.
It really goes against everything I believe in, doesn't it? It goes against the kind of person I want to be. I'm fed up with it. I'm fed up with lots of things. Natsuki presses her palms into her forehead and shakes her head. I know what's best for me, but I keep convincing myself out of it. It's so much easier to be comfortably unhappy than it is to do something something scary.
To do what?
You know, to end it.
With them? Natsuki nods. Thank God, I thought you were talking about yourself. I didn't think you were I didn't think you were actively considering that as an option. Did I say twice as a stutter? Or
I wasn't until recently. It's just one of those things where like it's been a certain way for so long that you get used to it. Like so much of you has gone into it. So much of it feels like you just that's just how life is. And throwing it away is like throwing away such a big part of your life. It makes me feel sick to think about.
Natsuki sighs.
It's just really scary. It's terrifying.
What are you scared of?
I don't know. Lots of things. Like being alone. Not having anyone to talk to or hang out with. Not being able to replace what I have with them. And I don't want them to hate me. And I'm scared they'll hurt me for going against them.
Physically?
Not physically, but...
Yuri clenches her fist. Natsuki.
What?
If anyone even thinks to cause you harm, I would fucking stab them. I will unleash hell upon them. I will unleash hell upon them. Natsuki snorts in laughter. Don't laugh at me. I fucking mean it. She pulls out like a switchblade. I will fucking deck them. I'll fucking laser them with alien fucking eyes. I mean...
sorry. I liked that. That's all.
Oh, well, I meant it.
I know you did.
Natsuki gives Yuri an endearing look.
I needed it.
As the conversation laps, Natsuki again slides her box of cupcakes over to Yuri.
Just take them, okay? I don't want others to have them anymore.
Are you sure? Natsuki nods.
I'm sure.
I will then. I'll enjoy them. Natsuki looks away, but a feeling of warmth spreads through her. She holds onto the feeling, knowing it will give her courage. 2 seconds later. Oh, you're here first today.
Mm-hmm.
And you brought reading material.
Mm-hmm.
Natsuki is sitting in her usual spot this time, holding a volume of manga, while her lunch sits beside her. Yuri sits down as well and opens her own book.
It sucks when a good series has to come to an end.
That's a little, like, on the nose.
Like it's being such a big part of your life, and then one day, it just has nothing left. It makes you feel so empty.
Unfortunately, I'm about to experience that myself. I'm on the last book of this series.
That sucks.
But there is also something satisfying about letting a story conclude. I don't know if I'll want it to go on forever.
Maybe. But there are some things that I wish I could.
On the other hand, have you ever read something that overstays its welcome?
Yeah, definitely. I can think of the last thing I read that got pretty unbearable like halfway through, and then the ending really sucked. So it sucks when something good has to end, but it also sucks when it just keeps inventing more plot until you don't like it anymore. I guess it sucks either way.
Well, that's the nature of things. They'll come to an end. The two fell silent. They slowly eat while making their way through the respective reading material. Except Natsuki doesn't seem to be touching her food at all.
You don't go out during the weekends, right?
Excuse me?
Like with friends at the mall or downtown or whatever.
I'm not a total shut-in, you know.
Oh, my bad for making assumptions.
Well, I'm sure I go out less often than other people like you and the others in the club. I don't really meet with friends and meet with friends and then arbitrarily spend time with like that. I'm usually meeting with a board game group.
Board game group?
It doesn't matter. It's just more nerdy stuff. Why do you ask anyways? It's called Dungeons and Dragons. I could go into detail, but the guy who's voicing me doesn't fucking know anything about Dungeons and Dragons.
I was just curious. I just realized that I couldn't picture it, so I was just curious. Yuri looks at Natsuki and realizes that she's shaking. Don't look at me like that.
Sorry.
Natsuki pulls her knees into her chest and puts her head down. I can't take this.
Did I do something?
Yuri gets flustered. Her mind's racing over when she may have said something or done. I did. I ended it. I texted them earlier, telling them. And then I just got blocked. And I just blocked them because I was afraid of their response. And now I feel like I'm dying inside.
Oh, that's... I'm sorry? Yeah, very heavy news.
Totally unsure of what to do. Yuri could barely find any words of support to offer. Yeah, I would too, actually. Of just instantly being like, yeah, I just got rid of my friends. And you know, the sad thing is, for some reason, this whole Let's Play has been like me talking and then making maybe a joke and then me getting really like into my school life. And I guess I'm about to do that again because when I edit, I'm like, oh, I don't want to listen back to this memory. But I don't know. I feel like it's awesome. Not awesome. I just feel like it just comes to mind. And I guess it'll be interesting for you guys to learn. That kind of happened to me too. At the end of my senior year, I basically lost all of my friends. Like, a good portion of them I realized weren't my friends. And I just kind of, like, didn't care anymore. And I was just like, you guys sucked. So I kind of left. Well, not left. I stayed in the area they hung out at. But you can tell by the air and the atmosphere. Like, over time, when, like, high school started, everyone was talking. It's like, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. But, like, at senior year, it was just kind of like me sitting there. And that everyone's, like, talking in their own little pockets. And then sometimes 90% of them didn't show up anymore. So, like, it was just small little groups. And I still had, like, maybe one or two, I think 3 people max that came to the area and talked to me. And I was like, I like you guys. But other than that, all of them just kind of became... I don't know the words. They all started focusing on their own path, which is fair, but some of them were like just assholes. It's hard to explain because just to like someone who doesn't know. But I hope that you can understand what I'm trying to say. Basically, that ending year was just kind of like the realization that none of these guys would care anymore. Once the year was over, and I was just kind of like, oh, all right, I might as well distance myself because they distanced themselves from me already, so it was kind of like a stab in the back. And it's just something weird to think about because it's like, man, I had like 30 people, like a 30 people group, and I'm like, I know everybody, but now it's just like I only know like 5 people now. Like right now, I still talk to it's like 5 people or like 7. I'm just like, wow, that number died down real fast. And it's sad to think about, but I couldn't really care anymore. I guess it's healthier to have a smaller group of friends. But I'm going to continue reading. Less about me, more about the game. Meanwhile, the sounds of Natsuki's unusual hard breathing fills the air. Then she speaks again, barely above a whisper. Help me. I feel sick, and I want to hit my head against things. Please help. I can't take this. You may be having a panic attack. With that realization, Yuri's demeanor suddenly changes. I have experience with this, so I'll help you through it, okay? Natsuki meekly nods through her rapid breath, head still buried in her knees. Yuri slides herself over to Natsuki and sits on the steps behind her. Then, she puts her hands on Natsuki's shoulders. Can you feel my hands? Natsuki nods. Her shaking becomes much more apparent through Yuri's sense of touch. Yuri keeps her voice low and gentle. You're safe right now. You're in a good space. You're in a good and safe place where nothing can hurt you except for me. Natsuki nods once more. Although Yuri is only touching Natsuki's shoulders, she can practically feel her racing pulse through the base of her neck. We'll do some breathing exercises together. All you have to do is listen to my breaths and breathe along with me. Let's breathe in now. Yuri takes a deep breath and slow breath, I think. I don't know. I read by that too quickly. Beneath her hands, she feels Natsuki's shoulders rise as Natsuki takes a breath of her own, trying to mimic Yuri. They exhale together, although Natsuki's breath shakes on her way out. That's good. Let's keep going. Yuri breathes in once more, and Natsuki joins her. They continue like that for a few more cycles while Yuri closely monitors. Eventually, Yuri feels Natsuki rest more on her weight into Yuri's palms. Let's focus on the physical world. All you have to do is focus on the feelings of your breaths going in and out, and then the weight of my hands on your shoulders. You're in a safe and comfortable physical space. Now, mentally, no, you're fucked there, but physically, you're fine. Minutes pass in silence. By now, the worst of it has passed, but Yuri is determined not to move away until Natsuki prompts herself to. Meanwhile, Natsuki has lifted her head off her knees, and her breathing has mostly steadied. Could you imagine them getting that? It's like, no, we can talk. Oh, I'm blocked. Like, the blocking part was, like, really extreme. Then again, I've never been in that situation where I just block someone right away. I haven't gone that far. I got to the point where I block people afterwards. She then takes her final breath. She takes a final deep breath. Takes her final breath. She takes her final deep breath, and then slowly pulls herself to her feet, causing Yuri to let go. She stretches her arms. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to freak out. I don't know what my deal is.
You don't have to apologize. This must be enormously stressful for you.
Is this gonna keep happening?
It may or may not. We can take measurements to help prevent it in the future, but I think it will naturally get better over time.
Natsuki monitors to sit back down again, so Yuri moves over. Yuri turns away to pick up her book from the dusty floor, which she had hastily sat down earlier. She brushes the dust off the cover. I don't think I could have gotten through that alone.
You're not alone.
Feeling shy again, Yuri speaks into her lap.
From now on, you don't have to do anything alone. I'm here for you.
As she says that, Yuri tenses up. It's rare for her to openly share her thoughts. My brain paused there for a second. But something about Natsuki, of all people, makes it feel so much more natural to do so. Perhaps because it's like Yuri and Natsuki is so timid and uncertain of herself. Natsuki does such a good job at hiding that it has taken a long time for Yuri to finally realize it. And because of that, Yuri is able to deliver the reassurance that herself would have warrant. Demonstrating that you deserve the love of others. Demolishing? My brain's like, wait. If you can accept that from the first time, then perhaps you can begin the triumphant journey of learning to love yourself. The new artwork! Oh, that's cute. Do you really mean that? You're probably gonna regret saying that if you do.
How so?
Because I'm probably gonna have a lot of free time during the weekends from now on. And you're giving me permission to be annoying as I want and drag you along to a lot of places?
I see.
But you already said it, so you can't take it back now.
Ah, well, I suppose I have no choice but to accept that responsibility then. I could also, just leave you on read and act like I was sleeping in the whole day. It's a gamble that you're gonna have to learn. Get to my schedule.
I know a good ice cream place. She's just like, instantly turns, I don't like ice cream.
Oh, that means you'll finally figure out my favorite ice cream flavor then.
Hey, that was like in the first time she came in. I almost said the first part. Huh? What are you talking about?
Oh, you don't remember? The first day you came to the club, you guessed everyone's favorite ice cream flavor. But for me, you said you had no idea.
Seriously? I don't remember that at all. Oh, wait, yes I do. I said it was probably green tea.
Yuri shakes her head. It's a good guess, but my favorite is usually to get chocolate and raspberry together.
Chocolate, raspberry. How fancy.
How is that fancy?
I don't know. I feel like I should have guessed something like that.
Well, maybe next time I'll try chocolate and strawberry.
Hey, strawberry is my favorite.
What a coincidence.
I think it helps to have something to look forward to. I still have the sick feeling in my stomach. But it's easier now to convince myself that I did the right thing. Is there anything better I could be doing? Not that I know of. There's nothing that will make it this easy for me. And you're already more than I thought anyone could. Come to think of it, we never talked about the letter you wrote. but I feel like we're way past that at this point, that I don't even know what to talk about, except that I think it helps me understand my needs a little bit better. The way I like being treated, and the kinds of friends that I want to have. That's why I wanted to start coming here in the first place, even though I was so scared of causing more problems. I thought,
Oh, I thought it was a coincidence that you ran into me here initially.
well, not exactly.
What do you mean?
Nothing. I may have been stalking you. I may have tracked you down first. With the hell was Sayori?
But you said,
I was shy, okay? I wasn't ready to, whatever. You know what I'm saying.
well, I guess I'm glad that you worked up the courage, even if it was in your own way. I could tell that you've been making a lot of difficult decisions. It's brave, and it will make things better in the long run. I think anyone would be proud of you for it.
Anyone? Even Dad? You mean like you?
Who said I was proud? Yes. Like me. But not me, like me. I'm just saying people like me.
You know, I can get used to this. As long as you don't tease me too much.
Wait, is that yours? I think it was yours saying as long as you don't tease me too much. Oops, my bad.
Just a little then.
That's fine. I know how uncertain everything feels to you right now, but I really do think that good things are in store. Those are my honest feelings.
Thanks.
And it was at this moment.
They both didn't know that Natsuki's life just starts to go downhill from here. It feels nice to be reinsured. The two girls continue their conversation through the remainder of lunch, but a new feeling hangs in the air, a feeling of greater certainty in their path forward. In just a few hours, there will be another Leisure Club meeting, where the 4 club members will happily spend time together. Each of them, all of their own special qualities, have something unique that they can deliver to one another. Through friendship and literature, the club members will continue to grow and find new happiness together. The end of each chapter is the start of the next. Yuri thinks to herself that she is about to finish her long-running series. It would be the best to have a new book lined up. Perhaps this weekend it would be a good time to visit the bookstore. Together. I was waiting for it. I knew that was gonna come up. Yay! I got more pictures. I got that not side story. I got that thing finally. Yay! And then I still have those 2 went missing. Yay, self-love. They actually never said self-love in that one, but I could be going insane. Side stuff. Oh, equals. Wow, that was really, well, I mean, it was expected to be honest, but wow, I got equals. Great, now I gotta do that in the next episode. Whoa, don't know how long that one's gonna be since it's one big square. Oh no, that's gonna be the longest, or it's gonna be the exact opposite, but we'll see when we get there. If you guys like this video, please like, comment, subscribe, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya!